Hey everyone, and welcome. You've probably heard the word mindfulness thrown around a lot, right? But what does it actually mean for your work, for your career? Well, today we're going to cut through all that buzz and show you how mindfulness is a seriously powerful tool for not just surviving, but actually thriving in the modern workplace. Let's dive in. Okay, does this feel familiar to you? You've got emails flooding in, Slack messages dinging, notifications popping up, meeting reminders. It's just this constant digital storm demanding your attention, right? You're basically forced to multitask just to keep your head above water, and it feels like you're being pulled away from the work that really matters, like every single minute of the day.
In that feeling, I promise it is not just you. The research backs us up. Today's work environment, with all its pressure to be faster, more agile, more competitive, well, it's leading to massive levels of stress, distraction, and, yeah, ultimately, burnout. This isn't just some personal failing. It's a huge, shared challenge of our professional lives.
But what if you could find a little bit of calm in all that chaos? That, my friends, is where mindfulness comes in. And look, this isn't some passing fad. It's a scientifically proven way to build your mental resilience and seriously boost your effectiveness. Just think of it like a reset button for your brain, helping you cut through all that digital noise. So what is mindfulness really? At its core, it's the simple act of paying full attention to what's happening right now without judging it. But here's the key thing a lot of people miss. It's not about emptying your mind or stopping your thoughts. Not at all. It's more like a mental workout, a skill you can build that becomes the foundation for better well-being and, yes, peak productivity. Now, that might sound pretty good in theory, but you're probably wondering, does it actually work in a professional setting? Well, the answer is a big, loud yes. So let's get into the numbers and look at the hard data that shows the real, measurable impact of mindfulness at work. Get this, a massive study, we're talking over 12,000 people, found that mindfulness programs slashed psychological stress by an average of 30%. That is a huge drop. So how does it work? Well, it literally helps rewire our brain's automatic knee-jerk stress response, giving us that crucial bit of space to respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting. And the benefits don't even stop there. That same analysis found that employees who practiced mindfulness reported an increase in their job satisfaction of up to 22%. So people weren't just less stressed out, they were actually happier and way more engaged with what they were doing every day. Okay, now for the bottom line. The health insurance company Aetna brought mindfulness and yoga to its employees. And the result? They estimated a productivity gain of $3,000 per employee every single year. I mean, that's just a powerful example of how investing in your people's well-being pays off in a really big way. Let's take a closer look at those incredible Aetna results. As you can see right here, we're talking about a 28% drop in stress, a 20% improvement in sleep quality, and a 19% decrease in pain levels. Now, these aren't just numbers on a chart. They're real, tangible improvements in people's lives. And it's not just Aetna. Huge companies like Google and General Mills have seen really similar, powerful results from their own mindfulness programs. So we've seen the impressive data, but how does this all translate to the real world? How does it actually work in practice? Let's zoom in on a case study of the Mindfulness Society in South Florida to see how these principles are applied in a community setting. You know, nothing speaks louder than someone's personal experience. This quote from a participant really highlights the profound personal impact. This person went from being pretty skeptical to becoming a regular, finding a real practical tool to cope with life's stresses. It just goes to show you the power of finding the right program and the right community. What the Mindfulness Society does so well is make ancient wisdom feel totally accessible. They've adapted this complex Vedic tradition, the 8 limbs of yoga, into this really clear 4-step path. It's a journey inward, you know? You start with a foundation of ethical principles, move to connecting with your body and breath, then you learn to focus the mind, and finally, you integrate it all into your daily life. And to make sure mindfulness is accessible to literally everyone, the Society created 3 different ways to engage. As you can see here, they offer these introductory seminars for total beginners, more detailed workshops for folks who want to dive a little deeper, and then these in-depth study groups for really dedicated members. It's a flexible approach that means there's a starting point for everybody, no matter where you are on your journey. So here's the most important part. You do not need a formal program to get started. We can all start building these skills right now, today. Let's walk through a simple starter kit of daily habits and weekly rituals you can use to bring more mindfulness into your own work life. All right, here are some super simple habits you can start today. Instead of grabbing your phone first thing in the morning, just try 5 minutes of quiet, mindful breathing. When you feel stress starting to bubble up, use the stop technique. Just stop, take a breath, observe what's happening, and then proceed. Really try to focus on one thing at a time. And in your next conversation, really, truly listen. These small shifts can make such a huge difference. Ready to take it up a notch? Try some of these weekly rituals. Block out focus time in your calendar and guard it like a fortress. Set a simple intention for the week, something like, I will pause before I react. And hey, why not try a walking meeting? Getting outside can work wonders. These small, consistent commitments are what build a really powerful practice over time. So let's pull this all together. The evidence is pretty undeniable, right? Mindfulness is not some soft, fluffy, nice-to-have skill. It is a strategic advantage. It sharpens focus, it boosts emotional intelligence, and it builds a more resilient, collaborative workforce. In today's competitive world, that is a powerful, powerful edge. And that kind of leaves us with one last thought to chew on. We spend so much time and energy planning our next career step, right? The next project, the next promotion. But what if the single most powerful move you could make for your professional growth isn't an external one at all? What if it's the simple, quiet act of turning your attention inward?